Hey guys, Jam here, and in today's video I'm going to be going over Modiphius' new Fallout Faction starter set. This bad boy right here. Now, I'm a massive Fallout fan. I've got great memories of Fallout 3, Fallout 4 I enjoyed. I've not finished New Vegas, but I know a lot of people say that's the best one. And obviously if you guys have seen my channel, you know I love Wargaming as well. So naturally I wanted to do a video on it, but as a bit of a preamble before we get started, I originally was going to do a video on this bad boy, the Wasteland Warfare starter set by Modiphius as well. But just as I bought this, Modiphius advertised this bad boy over here. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to send him a message and see if I can get a review copy or something like that, because that would be awesome to get to you guys. And they were very, very kind and they sent that to me. So yeah, I'm going to go through it all with you guys now. I'm going to give you a very light unboxing, show you some of the interesting things in there. Go over the models inside, and then I'm just going to paint up one per miniature from each team. I'm a very slow painter, so I wouldn't be able to do both teams if I wanted to get the video out in the next year. But yeah, I was really excited for this one, so let's just get into it. Now, while we're looking at this really beautiful box here, I should probably actually mention what kind of game Fallout Factions is. And it's basically a skirmish war game, so anybody new to wargaming or anything like that, skirmish basically means it's kind of a smaller scale. Instead of giant big armies or anything like that, it's kind of two very small teams versing each other out. So in this particular case, in this starter set, you get the pack and the operators from the Fallout 4 nuka-world DLC. So yeah, generally I think you get about 10 dudes per side. I haven't played the game yet, so I'm not 100% sure on the rules. But there's loads of ways to customize these guys, different weapon loadouts, all that kind of good stuff. As you'd expect from any war game really, and in particular something that's based on Fallout. You got that real role-playing vibe to it all. And I personally, and I think a lot of people as well, love skirmish games because like I said, you just have really small teams that you can just put quite a lot of time and detail in if you want to, and you can get amazing looking models without having to worry about painting entire armies up. But anyway, as you can see in the box, it comes with a starter guide / rules manual here with a lot of great artwork in it, by the way. So yeah, basically everything you need is in this box. Because one of the things that interested me the most of this starter set was it comes with terrain, but not plastic terrain that you have to build and paint yourself. It comes with this kind of push out cardboard terrain, which I've never used before. And I thought it was really interesting. Now I will build some up later and you'll see it's really fun, it's really interesting. And the game also comes with a buttload of tokens as well. Now it comes with this kind of poster terrain / basing, so you can, once again, it's a really quick start kind of thing. You slap your cardboard terrain together, pop them on this poster basing, and you're ready to go. It looks really cool. But the really cool side of that is if you don't want to use that, you can flip it around and you've got a nuka-world, I think that's what she's called, poster. And it's quite a big one as well. So that's going to be something really nice you can hang up on your wall if you wanted to. Now, obviously, this being a war game or any sort of board game really, it comes with dice and all that and having miniatures. It has all the bases included. But my favorite part is the themed tape measure. I mean, just look at this thing. How cute is that? I think even if I'm not playing Fallout Factions, I'm just going to take this with me to any war games I play in the future, because for one, it's a key ring kind of thing, and yeah, it's just awesome. I don't know why, but this is just randomly my favorite part in this entire set. But now on to the most important part really, and that's the miniatures. Now each team comes on 2 separate sprues, and as you can see here, they're hard plastic, not like PVC or anything like that. Really nicely detailed, very crisp. And once again, as you can see on the sprue, lots and lots of options. But now onto the bit that interested me the most. I mean, miniatures are great. I've made and painted loads in my life, but I've never made this kind of pop-out cardboard terrain. Which kind of leads me to my one negative about this box. And I don't know if it's just my box, but there was no instructions. There was no instructions how to put the buildings together. I mean, they're pretty simple anyway, but the miniatures didn't have build instructions either. But luckily, if you go on the Modiphius website or just Google Fallout Factions build instructions, they come up, you can download the PDFs, it's really simple. But it's just weird that it wasn't in the box, like I said, I don't know if it was just my copy. But yeah, back to the terrain. The first thing I built was this kind of ramp thing. I think you can build it as a barrier if you don't want to use it as a ramp. But I thought, you want an extra dimensional vibe to the game. So this ramp will kind of help the miniatures to be able to get on top of the roofs of the buildings and stuff like that. So I thought that was really cool. It kind of reminded me of when you like do the building in Fallout 4 with your settlements. Now as for actual buildings, you get 2 in this box. But the really cool thing is, the card on it is double-sided, so you can flip it around and make a completely different looking building. Now it's just a square regardless of which side you do, but you can have a different aesthetic to it and stuff like that. So you basically can get 4 different buildings if you want to flip them out and you're bored of using one. So that's really cool extra detail. And on top of the buildings you have these, I don't know what you call them, signs, posted, whatever, signposts. And those can be rotated, and there's a few different ones. So you can have different stores, like you can have a barber shop, you can have all the different kind of signs up. Like I said, it's very interchangeable. And on top of that, if you're done playing, you wanted to pack it away, you can quickly disassemble the whole table, flat pack everything, and put it away nice and neat. And if you didn't want to do that, if you just wanted nice solid terrain, I'd actually probably recommend maybe super gluing everything together so there's no wobbly bits, but that's something I might do in the future. Now, as you can see in this shot here, I've built all the stuff up. So you get your 2 buildings. Like I said, you can build them in different ways. You've got that ramp to the roofing. You've got a Nuka-Cola Park map, which is really cool. You get 2 fences. You get a couple gravestones. You get some Nuka-Cola bins. You get a bench, and it has like this giant Nuka-Cola kind of billboard / barrier. I mean, if you love the aesthetics of Fallout, even the graphics of the game, it kind of matches up with that. It's just, yeah, 1 for 1 is just perfect, really. But alright, stop gushing over some cardboard terrain and actually onto the miniatures. Now, as you can see, I've built up 2, 1 from each team that comes in the box. And I'm just showing them to you here before we get any paint on them, so you can see how they come together and the detail and all that kind of stuff. I know a lot of people that kind of like don't like to leave Warhammer too much because they're worried about detail and the quality of models and stuff like that. But these really do look great, especially for the scale. That's probably something I should have mentioned before as well. These are quite small, or maybe to me because a lot of the models I work with are like Primaris Marine size, so these feel small, but they're probably the same size as like Sisters of Battle or Imperial Guard, I'd imagine. Now to get started with the painting. So I zenithalled both these models. Now in hindsight, maybe just leave them as black would have been better to get that like darker shadows, grittier vibes, and also easier to paint metallics. But it was done. So starting with the lady from the operators with the combat shotgun, I used that weapon because it's kind of my favorite gun in the game. Now keep in mind I am colorblind, but for me I was like, okay, is their main kind of color of the outfit a dark grey? So I went for Mechanica standard grey to start with, so I base coated all the bits that I wanted with that. And once that was done, I went in with Mournfang brown to do all the kind of leather straps, all that kind of stuff. It's probably quite a nice thing, but these models aren't overly detailed, so they should be quite quick to paint up. And then for the metals on this one, I was a bit silly, like I should have painted all the metallic stuff black first, because trying to paint silver or any sort of metallic over white just doesn't work out really. So I had to do quite a few coats here, but I went in with lead belcher because I want to go for really kind of battered, worn, grungy kind of steel on these guys. Now once I had the majority of the base coats down, I went over all of it with Nuln Oil. And as you can see here, I've put a few more different colors in, but I'm kind of just focusing on the main kind of faction colors for this video. But I got some skin tones in there, the black for the shoes, and went for red hair. Don't know if that was really the right choice. But anyway, to highlight up the grey now, I go for Dawnstone. And I'm not going to highlight up too much. Once again, I'm going for that kind of grungy look. Grungy. And yeah, I'm going for just a nice stipply, scratchy highlight throughout, giving it a worn, textured vibe to this stuff. And to highlight the brown, ironically, I didn't plan this at all. I'm using Deathclaw brown. Obviously, if you're a Fallout fan, you'll know what a Deathclaw is. So I thought that was quite funny, but once again, I'm just doing a kind of really scratchy, stipply highlight to make it look like really worn leather. And one last thing I do with this model, at least that I'm going to show on the video, is I go in with on the metallics with some Agrax Earthshade, just on certain spots to give that kind of more brownish, oily, like, you know, they're in a bit of a deserty wasteland, some like, you know, I like a bit of more brownish tones in there, so I just hit certain spots with that. Now on to my personal favorite faction out of the starter set, and that's the pack. And you'll probably see that by the end as well, because I feel like I might have put a bit more detail into this guy, because I just really enjoyed the model. I love all the different textures and just the wackiness of it all. Now, as for the kind of main faction color for these guys, it's kind of a, well, I don't know what kind of blue it is, once again, colorblind, but I didn't own the color that I thought would fit the color the most. So I just went for Macragge Blue to start off as my base color, which will be the trousers and the teddy bears. I love the fact that they got these teddy bears on them. And by the way, for my American friends out there, trousers just means pants. Now, to be honest, for the rest of the model, it's a lot of fur and leather and stuff like that. So I'm just going to be painting different kinds of browns. Like I think for the shirt jumpery kind of thing that he's wearing, I'm going for Mornfrang brown to start with. And then for the fur, I just use kind of like a bonish brown, and the wooden panels on him, I also go for a woodish brown. So yeah, I'm not going to go over it because it's just random shades of browns, greens, all that kind of stuff. Now, a thing I did do different on this model was painted all the metallic things black. Like I said before, metallics go over black so much better than any other color. It's definitely worth the extra effort. Well, it's actually less effort than just trying to do layers and layers of silver. And then, once again, once I've got all my base colors down, everything I need, I just douse the entire model in Agrax Earthshade. Like I said, with this one I'm going for more browny, earthy kind of color, so Agrax will do nicely here. Now, to highlight up the trousers, I went over with a thicker highlight of Calgar Blue, and then because the kind of box artwork color kind of had like a greyish tint to me, at least to my eyes, I went for a final highlight of Fenrisian Grey, at least on the trousers. And then I wanted to give the teddy bears a bit more of a saturated blue, I guess you'd say, and just try and make them a bit more different. I went for Altdorf God Blue, I think that's how you pronounce it. Now I know I've skipped over, like I said, a lot of the colors, but I just kind of wanted to go for like the main faction colors. The rest are just blacks, browns, whatever you want to use. And once that was dried, you can see, especially on this like leathery shirt thing, I'm going extra like stipply and scratchy with my highlights. Again, this is a wasteland. Everyone's just trying to survive, so nothing would be clean. And it's such a fun way to paint, to be honest, not trying to do smooth edge highlights. Everything kind of can look messy and rugged, and it just makes sense for this world. Now, something that's not really a main faction color, but I'll just go over it anyways. The mask, I wanted to go for an orangey color, kind of how the box work does it. So I did a overall kind of highlight on the mask with Troll Slayer orange, and then just a smaller highlight of Fire Dragon Bright. So my next step was the basing, and obviously once again kind of dried up wasteland. I wanted to go for Agroland Earth from GW, that kind of crackling texture paint, and I just slathered that all over the bases. Now this stuff actually took quite a long time to dry and crack up because of how cold my loft room is, but eventually when it was done, and to be honest, it looked kind of cool just like that. It had a really dusty vibe to it, but I went in with Agrax Earthshade anyway, just to give a bit more definition in there, darken it down as well. And once that was dry, again, took quite a while because of how cold it is in here, I dry brushed both of them with Karak Stone, just for a bit of a highlight. And there we have it, both miniatures done. I got them out on the little poster terrain board thing with all the terrain built up, and as you can see, I think the bases I did with the kind of poster that you would play on and the terrain and the dustiness, I think it kind of worked out alright, and I think it looks really, really cool. Once again, if you just crack this box open, play it on what you get in the box, you'd have really immersive, fun games just with what's in the box right here. Now I'm going to quickly switch over to a closer kind of spinny showcase for you guys, and then I'll be back with you. And there you have it, ladies and gents. I had a lot of fun with this one. Like I said before, massive fan of Fallout, and being able to do that in wargaming format was just awesome. It's really cool to just do something new and fresh with a franchise that I've loved for years. And especially with it being a skirmish game, just having like small little teams to paint up, it's just really refreshing. Now, I've only painted one model of each team, but you know, like I said, I'm a slow painter, so I'll get to it eventually. And, well, I still got to play some games with this, to be honest. Now, I would love to build a little diorama slash mini table that got that nice Fallout vibe to it, you know, like the really retro 50s kind of vibe. I think it would be such an awesome little table to make. Maybe one day I'll get around to that because I think that'd be so much fun to do. But yeah, let me know what you think of this kit. Do you think it's something you might be picking up as a wargaming fan or as a Fallout fan, or maybe something like both? I mean, and yeah, I mean, it is almost Christmas, so you know, if you don't want to spend the money yourself, you can always chuck it on your list for Santa. I personally think it's well worth it, everything you get in there. And yeah, it's just 2 teams you can crack out really quick, and you can start gaming on the terrain and the everything you've got on Christmas Day. Basically, you can have a couple of games, so that's awesome. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to see what kind of support they have in the future. The more factions and teams and everything come out. Like I said, I'm a massive Super Mutant fan, so I'm definitely going to pick some of them up. And yeah, like I said, maybe one day I'll build some sort of terrainy diorama for it, because that'd be fun. But on a side note, if you enjoyed this video and if it does well and everything, let me know if you want me to do the Fallout Wasteland Warfare kit, because there's quite a few different models in there. Like I say, I think I got the one with the alien dude in it. That'd be really fun to paint as well. But I'm going to stop waffling now, so you guys know what to do with YouTube. Like, subscribe. I've got Patreon, YouTube membership, all that kind of stuff. It really helps keep the channel going, helps me keep my bits box full, helps me carry on making videos and improving. So yeah, do all that stuff if you want to, and you know, just the usual YouTube stuff, like I said. So till the next one, bye bye.